Hello everyone, this is KenBroTech from KenBroTech and welcome back. So in this series of videos, we are creating a blog application and we are done setting almost everything up. Now in this section of the video, we are going to look at how we create the user registration session, the login and the logout authentication. So what I'm going to do is, in order to do exactly what I'm saying we are going to do, we are going to create a new app over here. And if you are following along and you remember exactly what you have been doing, we just have to do python manage.py and we'll say start app, and the name of the app is going to be users. Okay, so we are doing python manage.py start app and users. So I'll press enter and we have this users app right over here. And the first thing I would want to do is to go into settings.py, go into installed apps as you have it over here, and come over here to register the app. So I'm going to have them put out a trailing comma over here. I'm going to have users.apps.users config, okay, like this. So I'll save this and we now have our app registered. Django is well aware of we having the users app over here. The next thing I would also want to do, since we'll be working with templates, is to come in here and come and create a folder, and we are going to call this folder users, and this is where we are going to house all the templates that is associated to this user app. Now let's come into our users and create a function over here, and we are going to create a registration session within our application. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run an import over here, and I'm going to say from django.contrib.auth.forms. I'm going to import, and there's one we call user creation form. So this user creation form is Django's default form you can use to create users. And I'm going to define a function over here, and I'm going to call this sign up. So this sign up function is going to take in a request. We've seen this in the previous sessions, and for now let's return render, and this render method is going to get in a request, and we have in here the users because we are directing the templates in this users. Okay, and the template we are going to use is going to be sign up.html. all right, so I'll save this and this sign up.html, and I'm going to come into the users templates folder, and I'm going to create sign up.html. all right, so we have something to work with. Now remember, we have this view, we need to create a corresponding URL for it. So inside of the users app, I'm going to create in urls.py, and we are pretty much going to repeat what we did with the blog app. So I'm going to say from Django.urls, I want to import path. Then I'll say from the current directory, I want to import views. I want to have it this way. all right, then I'm going to have URL patterns, and this URL patterns is going to be a list, and I'm going to call in method the path method over here, and I'm going to say users / then I'm going to call in views dot, remember I have sign up over here, and for the name of the URL we are going to look at these URL names extensively as we move along. I'm going to call this users dash sign dash app. all right, so I'll save this, and now we have some kind of a working document we can work with. And in order not to waste so much time, I'm going to go into our blog, and inside of what we have over here, I'm going to do a Control C and paste what I have over here. And now before I even proceed, there's one thing I think we should look at, and let's go back into our base.html. You can see that we are putting this index page almost on all the pages that we are eventually going to create, and that's not what you want. You want to render this dynamically, so you can actually put in a template tag over here, and we are going to say block title, and we are certainly going to end block over here. All right, so this is it. And anytime we have a page, I can just copy this, and I'm just going to paste this right above here. And since this is the index page, this is going to be the home page, so this is going to be home page. I'll save this, and this is going to be the sign up page, so I'll do sign up over here. All right, so as far as the sign up page goes, there are some things we do not need. Okay, so for instance, we are not going to render the posts, okay, on the sign up page, so you don't need this session. And then let me see. All right, so what I'm going to do is, let's try 5, okay, MD5 for the call. All right, so what we can do now here is, whenever I type in / users / sign up and press enter, it says that the current path does not match any of these, and that's simply because after writing in our URLs within the app, we haven't informed the project. Remember, with the block we informed the project. So what I need to do in order to make things work is to go into the post scribers block folder and go into urls.py. And now what I need to do is I need to inform my system that I have some routing going on in the block or in the user's application. So what I need to do is I'm going to do a shift alt, and I'll put in the down arrow key in order to do copy and paste this over here, because I'm eventually going to use the same thing. Then I'm going to say users / then over here I'm importing from the users. All right, so this is going to work. And let me just come back here into the URLs, the users URLs, and just clear this for now. So if I'm to come back here and come and refresh, it says that we seem to have some problems over here. That's simply because of the way we are trying to put out things over here. So let me do the sign up. Let me do sign _ up over here / and let me go and clear this over here. So if I'm to come back here to come and refresh, we have /sign up. So let me just clear this ones over here. And if I type in this, yes, we have this signing up showing up over here. All right, so what have we done? We just informed our project, okay, our project URLs, that we are going to render some kind of routing, okay, and this routing is going to be grabbed from the users URLs. And within the users URLs, this is what we have. We are seeing that whenever you have something / sign up, we want to render the sign up page, and this sign up page is being invoked from the views. Okay, so we have sign up view over here, and the sign up view is returning the sign up.html, and that's exactly what we are seeing over here. Now, as you can see, the title is or has changed to sign up, and that's simply because within our sign up.html we have this title showing up over here. So now let's move forward to writing the logic over here. Now remember, we have this user creation form. Now I can simply pass in a form variable over here, and I'll do user creation form like this and pass this in a context dictionary. And inside of the context dictionary, I'm just going to have the key value pair. So the key is form and the value is form. And I'm going to have the context so that it can be accessed within signup.html. Now this is signup.html, and remember when we grabbed it, we had this form showing up over here with crispy forms. Now when I save this and we come back here to come and refresh, clearly we have this form showing up over here. We haven't done anything as far as writing logic is concerned. Django gave us this form, and this is what we are going to use in signing up. All right, so what I actually want to do is over here, I want to position this to the side, and this is what I mean. So for MD5, I want to do an offset, and offset MD. Let me do offset MD5 and see how things will look like. So okay, let me do 7, so that it shifts it right to the tail end over here. That's too far, so I think 6 will do. All right, so I think this is good. Now what I would want to do is also to have some kind of a text over here. So I'm going to put this in an H3. Let's do an H4, and I'll say sign up. Okay, I'll say sign up page, and just beneath this I'll put in a horizontal rule over here so that I kind of separate it. I have this sign up page over here. Later on we are going to style some few things over here, and let me change the text over here to sign up. So I have sign up over here. All right, so now this is not going to just work yet, but then at least we have the form. We haven't written too much code. Now let me close these ones again so that we are left with what we are working with. Let me close this. All right, so let's come into our views.py, and this is for the user app or the users app. So inside here we have this, and remember, once again, we are putting everything in post, okay, or we are posting it. We want to put it in a more secured way. So inside of here, we are going to say if request.method, if request.method is equal to post, as we have it over there, then we want to render this form, and more importantly, we want to grab request.post. Whichever item or data you are passing in there, you want to grab it. And let's put out the else statement over here. Else, the form is simply going to be just the user creation form, and just about that. So now let's do this. So we are going to say if form.isValid, and the isValid method is actually going to check a number of things over here. Now let me show you this. When we came, or whilst we are working with the block app, okay, remember we called, let me go into views.py. We have calling the isValid method over here. Now the isValid method is actually going to go through this form and check that indeed you said you want a title of character field. So it is going to check, and you specify a max length of 100. It is going to check if you haven't exceeded some of these parameters over here. You want a content over here. It's going to check if indeed it is a text field. It's going to check if the author is actually linked to the user by this foreign key. It is also going to check if your date created is actually a date time field. So that's essentially what the .isValid method is doing for us. So let me come back here. So we are seeing that if the form is valid, then we are going to say form.save. And when we do form.save, let me also import redirect over here. So remember, we dealt with redirect over there. So I'll do a return redirect, and the question is, where do we want to get redirected to? So we want to get redirected to, let's say, the home page. And remember, if we come back here into the block app, the home page has this URL. Okay, we can just grab this URL, Control C, and put it over here, Control V. All right, but before we even do this, let me just comment this one out so that we see exactly what happens without having this and what is needed in order for this to actually make sense. All right, so let me come back here and refresh, and let me put out a name over here. So currently within our users app, okay, or within our users model, we only have admin registered over here. Now let's register Kenneth. Okay, we have Kenneth over here, and let me put in a password. So this is my password, and I need to confirm the password over here. Now when I click on sign up, nothing is happening over here. But if I'm to come back here and come and refresh, you can see that we have Kenneth showing up over here. Kenneth has been registered. When I click on Kenneth, you see that the username is Kenneth. The password is definitely hashed over here. So even if somebody has access to the admin panel, the person is not going to see the password that I typed. There's some bit of security feature being added over here. And there are quite a number of things over here we are going to look at moving on. All right, but clearly nothing is happening over here, and normally we would want to perform an action and maybe get a message telling us that something has happened or things of that sort. So what we are going to do is we are actually putting this, or we are bringing in this return redirect over here, so that whenever a user is created, okay, so this sign up is going to be invoked if the request method is equal to post. Then the form is going to be the user creation form we have imported over here, and we are going to grab the request, whichever data we type in, and if the form is valid after checking through that there's a text field, indeed we provided character, if there's a boolean field, everything is checked, then it is going to save. And once you are done saving, we want you to go into the index page, and this is exactly what we are going to see over here. So when I refresh, and once again you can see that that particular thing is popping up over here. Let me do the refresh over here. So now we have Kenneth registered over here. So now let me register Bruni. So we have Bruni here, and for password I'm also going to type in this password, and when I click on sign up, now you can see that there's a redirect over here, and this is the home page. And if I'm to come here and come and refresh, we have Brony being added onto our system. Okay, so now things are beginning to kind of come together over here for us. So this redirect is working. All right, so we are done with the first part of what you want to do, but clearly, and for the purpose of this, you can see that when we are registering the admin, okay, through the command line, we were able to add an email to it. Okay, we can extend and modify things over here. Now this is what I'm talking about. We can actually create in a form over here. So I'm going to create forms.py, and this is going to be inside the users app. Okay, we have a form over here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to run an import. So I'm going to say from django.contrib.auth.forms. I want to import the user creation form. All right, so after importing this, all that I need to do is I need to create a class over here, and I'm going to call this sign up. Okay, sign up I'm going to call this sign up form. Now this sign up form is going to inherit from the user creation form, so it's going to be Control C, and I'll paste this over here. Now before I proceed, let me also import something over here. So I'm going to say from Django, I want to import forms, and we've seen this before. So I'm going to call an email field over here. I'm going to specify an email field over here, and for this one I'm going to say forms dot email. All right, so when I do forms dot email, I can now do a class meta over here, and we've seen this before. The model that I want to specify, or I want to change this for, and finally I would also want to have the fields. So the fields is going to pop up over here in a list. All right, so now the model is going to be, and let me come back here and show you, the model is going to be the users model. Okay, remember the users model was already created for us by Django, and in order to get the users model over here, I'll just come down here and say from Django, we've seen this before, from Django dot on trip dot auth dot models, I want to import the user model. Okay, so the name of the model here is going to be the user model I've specified or I've imported over here, and the fields is going to be the username. I'm going to show you exactly where we are getting all this from. The username, the email, then I'm going to have the password 1, and finally I want to have the password 2. All right, so where am I getting the username, the email, and things of that sort from? Now as you can see, we have username over here. Now let me just click on, let's say, admin. Admin has a username, a password. We can also specify first name, last name, and things of that sort, but then we just want the email. Okay, we just want the email, among other things we can specify over here. So let me once again go back to the signing up page. Now this is what we have currently. We have only username and password. I want to include the email I've created over here, and now we have a new sign up form over here. So now let's go back into our views.py and run an import, and I'm going to say from the current forms, I want to import, and I want to import a sign up form. Now currently we may not need this, okay, but then let's see. So anywhere we see user creation form, we want to replace it with sign up form, because that's a new form we are using over here. So I've replaced the user creation form over here with sign up form, and here as well. So when I save this and come back here to come and refresh, we have a problem over here. Update server is down, and it says we specified something over here which I didn't check the spelling. So the spelling of password, okay, so password, and yeah, so this is password 1 and password 2. All right, so when I do this and come back to come and refresh, our dev server is down. Let me stop this and run it once again. All right, so this is running, and when I refresh, I now have email showing up over here. Now one of the things I would want us to do is to kind of get rid of these help text. Okay, it's making our form look bulky, and maybe somebody would want to know how to get rid of some of these things. All right, so in order to get rid of the help text, what I need to do is I need to come into our forms, okay, and down over here I'd want to specify some function that will get rid of it. So I'll do def and double underscore, and I'll do init, okay, like this over here. And I'm going to change some few things over here, but then this has been auto generated for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in some few parameters over here. So inside this super, I'm going to pass in the sign up form. Okay, I'm going to pass in the sign up form, and I'm going to pass in self over here. So this is the first thing I'm going to do. Okay, and this was auto generated for me. Now I'm going to come down here and I'm going to write a for loop over here. So I'm going to say, and I'm going to explain exactly what's happening. So I'm going to say for field name. Okay, so for field name in, and I'm going to pass in a list over here, and this list is actually going to be like this field. So I'll just copy this, Control C, and I'll paste it over here. So for field name in, what we have over here, okay, I'm going to do self dot, and I'll say fields, okay, and I'm going to specify the field name over here, and I'll say dot help text. It's actually help underscore text is equal to none. All right, so when I do this and I come back here to come and refresh, remember we have these help text over here. When I refresh now, you can see that the help text is gone. All right, so now what's happening over here? I'm seeing that this init method we have under this sign up form, okay, is taking in self, args, and keyword arguments, and we are overwriting the whole system or the whole functionality of that sign up method, and we are overwriting the whole sign up class, and we are passing in the sign up, the self.init, everything, the keywords and the quirks that may be provided. And we are seeing that for fields in everything we have over here, we want to do self.fields, and the fields names, we want to clear the help text, and we are saying everything should be equal to none, so we don't want to see anything. And that's exactly what has resulted in taking away the help text. It doesn't change the functionality. We can still register over here. So let me register a name John, and John's email address is john@gmail.com, and for the password I'm going to type in a password over here, and when I sign up, John is going to be redirected into the application. And when I come in here and come and refresh and go back here, we can see that we have John showing up over here. John has an email address. Perfect. This is exactly what we wanted. All right, so this is going to be the end of this video. Now you find this content very interesting, there are a couple of ways you can help me grow my channel. Kindly subscribe to KenBroTech, and don't forget to hit on the notification button so that anytime I release a video, you'll be duly notified. Also, share this video with friends and family who find this content very useful. At KenBroTech, we say learn programming. You can do it. And also, don't forget to pass in any question or comments if you do have one. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.